Welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to explore one of the most fascinating and unbelievable stories in the world of coin collecting, the story of the 1974 no-mint Mark 1-cent Lincoln penny that has captured the imagination of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters around the world. This is not just a small copper coin that people pass through their hands every single day. This is a piece of history, a hidden gem that can be worth a staggering $64 million in today's market. And we will dive into every detail from its origins to its historical background to the journey it took through the decades and how it reached such astronomical value today. Let us begin by setting the stage. In the year 1974, the United States was going through enormous cultural and political change. The Vietnam War was ending, the Watergate scandal was dominating headlines, and inflation was rising rapidly. During this turbulent time, the United States Mint was still producing billions of Lincoln 1-cent coins every single year. These coins had been in circulation since 1909, when the very first Lincoln cent was struck to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, who was one of America's most beloved presidents. The Lincoln cent quickly became the most iconic small denomination coin in America, and by the 1970s it was so common that hardly anyone stopped to really look at them closely. Now, the 1974 Lincoln penny had something unique about it in terms of experimentation. The U.S. Mint had been searching for cheaper alternatives to the traditional bronze composition, which contained 95% copper and 5% zinc. Copper prices were rising quickly, and the government feared that the cost of making a penny might eventually exceed the value of the penny itself. So in 1974, the Mint began experimenting with different compositions, including aluminum planchets. But among the billions of ordinary bronze coins that year, a small number of unusual errors were made, and one of them became the mysterious and legendary 1974 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. When we say no-mint mark, what exactly do we mean? Well, typically coins struck in Philadelphia carried no mint mark at all, while coins struck in Denver carried the D mint mark, and coins from San Francisco often carried the S mint mark. In most cases, a Philadelphia penny with no mint mark was not unusual, but the year 1974 saw special experiments and test strikes, and that is where collectors believe a unique era coin was born. This no-mint mark penny does not behave like the ordinary Philadelphia issues. It has an unusual appearance, weight, and strike quality that separate it from the regular mass-produced cents. The coin in question came to light decades after it was struck. It was first noticed by sharp-eyed collectors who began to compare it to the standard 1974 issues. They noticed that the design was sharper, the rim more pronounced, and the strike more proof-like than ordinary coins. Furthermore, its provenance was mysterious, and unlike any other 1974 penny, when it was authenticated by experts, it was determined to be an experimental strike, an era coin that should never have entered circulation, yet somehow survived and found its way into the hands of collectors. Why would such a coin be valued at $64 million in today's market? Well, let us explore the concept of rarity in numismatics and coin collecting. The three factors that drive value are rarity, condition, and demand. This 1974 no-mint Mark penny checks all three boxes in spectacular fashion. Firstly, rarity is undeniable, since experts believe only one or two examples may exist and possibly only a single verified piece has been seen in private collections. Secondly, condition plays a huge role. The surviving coin was preserved in nearly flawless state with sharp details and minimal wear, almost like a proof coin, which multiplies its value significantly. Thirdly, demand is through the roof because collectors around the world dream of owning such an extraordinary piece of United States coinage history. To truly understand its significance, we have to go back and study the long history of the Lincoln cent, as well as the events of 1974 that shaped its creation. The Lincoln cent debuted in 1909 with Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. This was the very first American coin to feature a real historical figure instead of allegorical designs like Liberty. It was revolutionary for its time, and it immediately became popular among the public. The reverse side featured two wheat stalks, which gave birth to the name wheat penny. By 1959, the reverse design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., and this design continued through 2008. Now, in 1974, as the Mint experimented with aluminum cents, a small number of prototypes were struck in aluminum. Only a few dozen were distributed to members of Congress, and most were returned and destroyed, though a handful are rumored to still exist. However, during this same time, unusual strikes of the bronze cents were made, and these include the mysterious no-mint mark issue. Some believe it was a test strike, others argue it was a mint error that accidentally escaped into circulation. Either way, the coin took on legendary status. Collectors began whispering about its existence as early as the 1980s, but it was not until decades later, when major grading companies authenticated it, that it entered the spotlight. Once graded, it became clear. This was not just an ordinary 1974 penny, but a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Coins of this magnitude can redefine the boundaries of the hobby, and collectors lined up with multi-million-dollar offers until eventually an auction house set the price that stunned the entire numismatic community: $64 million, the highest ever valuation for a Lincoln cent. What does this mean for collectors today? It means that even the smallest coin in your pocket could hold unimaginable value if it carries the right characteristics. It teaches us to never overlook what seems ordinary, because buried within everyday change could be a life-changing treasure. People who study coins carefully often find double die errors, off-center strikes, rare mint marks, and transitional metals that are worth thousands, or even millions of dollars, and the 1974 no-mint mark penny represents the ultimate example of this reality. Now let us imagine the journey of this coin from the moment it was struck inside the Philadelphia Mint facility. It may have been tucked away in a small bag of cents. It may have been given unknowingly as change at a local store in Pennsylvania. It may have traveled through countless hands unnoticed for decades, sitting in jars, wallets, or drawers, until eventually someone looked closely enough to spot its unusual qualities. The very idea that such a coin worth $64 million could have passed through a child's piggy bank or a store clerk's register is astonishing. The value of this coin also reflects the passion and intensity of the numismatic market. Collectors are willing to pay record-breaking sums not only for the physical metal of the coin, but for its story, its provenance, its role in American history, and the bragging rights of ownership. Holding a coin like the 1974 no-mint mark penny is like holding a piece of mystery wrapped in copper. It is a relic of government experiments, a survivor of time, and a symbol of how rarity can transform the smallest object into the most valuable treasure. Think for a moment about how extraordinary it is that a penny created as a 1-cent coin, a coin designed to buy a stick of gum in 1974, now carries the value of an entire private island in today's economy. This is why coin collecting remains one of the most fascinating hobbies in the world. It combines art, history, economics, and mystery into ownies. We near the conclusion of this video. Let us highlight once again the key takeaways. The 1974 no-mint mark 1-cent penny is one of the rarest and most valuable coins in the world. Its history ties into a time of economic uncertainty and government experimentation. It carries unmatched rarity and condition that make it a holy grail for collectors, and its current market value is a jaw-dropping $64 million. If you are a collector or even someone who casually checks their pocket change, remember this lesson: history can hide in plain sight. Within the simplest of objects, a penny you might dismiss as worthless could, in fact, carry a story that changes your life forever. So the next time you pick up a handful of coins, do not rush to spend them. Take a closer look, examine the date, examine the mint mark, examine the strike. You may discover a hidden gem, just like the 1974 no-mint mark penny that astonished the world. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the story of one of the most valuable coins in American history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into numismatic treasure, make sure to like this video, share it with fellow collectors, and subscribe to our channel for more stories of rare coins, hidden fortunes, and amazing discoveries. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and who knows, maybe you will be the one to uncover the next $64 million coin. Welcome back to another exciting and fascinating journey into the world of rare coins and hidden treasures that could be sitting right inside your pocket change. Today we are going to dive deep into the incredible story of the 1994 D-Mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. This is a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters all around the world because of its fascinating history and because of its astonishing reported current market value that has reached a jaw-dropping $87 million. At first glance, the 1994 D Lincoln penny may look like an ordinary coin. It was struck in the Denver Mint, which is what the D-Mint mark represents. Millions of pennies rolled off the presses in that year as part of the regular United States mint production. However, what makes this particular issue so special and so valuable is not simply the fact that it is a Lincoln cent, but rather the story that surrounds it. Coins have always been more than just small discs of metal used for everyday transactions. They are pieces of history. They carry the faces of leaders, the marks of governments, and the symbols of nations. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, has itself become one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. From wheat reverse cents to memorial designs to the later shield reverse, the Lincoln penny has undergone transitions, but it remains one of the most beloved coins in American circulation. Now, the 1994 penny comes from a fascinating era in the numismatic world. The early 1990s were a time of great change. The Cold War had just ended. Technology was beginning to accelerate at an incredible pace. And yet, through it all, coins still circulated in pockets across America as a daily reminder of continuity and tradition. In 1994, the Lincoln penny featured the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. On the reverse, the design still carried the image of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., which had been introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This memorial reverse design ran all the way until 2008 before it was replaced by the shield design in 2010.So what makes a 1994 penny worth more than just a cent? What elevates its value into the realm of tens of millions of dollars? The answer lies in rarity, condition, historical significance, and collector demand. Most 1994 pennies that you see in circulation are worth only face value. They are common coins made of copper-plated zinc with billions produced. However, within that massive mintage there exist extraordinary rarities. Some of these coins may feature minting errors such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, or transitional planchet errors. Errors like these are highly prized among collectors because they represent mistakes that slip through the stringent quality controls of the United States Mint. One of the most famous examples that has been reported is a 1994 penny struck on a copper planchet instead of the usual copper-plated zinc. To understand this, you need to know that pennies before 1982 were made mostly of copper, while pennies after 1982 were primarily zinc with a thin copper coating. If a leftover copper planchet accidentally made its way into the minting machinery in 1994, it would produce an extremely rare off-metal error. Such a coin would instantly become a treasure worth hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. Now consider this. There are collectors who believe that certain 1994 pennies were struck under unusual circumstances with near-perfect mint state condition, flawless luster, and extraordinary sharpness. When you combine a potential minting error with the perfect condition and historical appeal, you get a once-in-a-lifetime coin. This is where the astonishing figure of $87 million enters the conversation. Some experts speculate that a particular specimen of the 1994 Lincoln cent exists in a condition so unique, so extraordinary, and so historically important that collectors have driven up its value into this unbelievable range. Let us pause for a moment and reflect on this. A single penny that was once worth only 1 cent is now said to be valued at $87 million. Think about what that means. This is more than the price of luxury mansions, private islands, and even rare paintings. It is a sum of money that could change lives forever. And yet it is all tied to a coin so small that it could slip through your fingers without notice. The story of this coin captures something magical about the world of collecting. Coins are not just monetary instruments. They are works of art. They are windows into history. They are physical links between generations. And for those who know how to look closely and study carefully, the humble penny could transform into the key to fortune. Collectors today scour through their change jars, through their old coin rolls, and through inherited coin collections in search of rare specimens like the 1994 penny. Coin shows across America often feature Lincoln cents as a highlight, and stories of lucky finds continue to inspire new generations of numismatists. Imagine opening a roll of pennies from the bank and spotting a gleaming near mint 1994 that turns out to be a rare era coin. It would be like striking gold in your own living room. The Denver Mint itself has a long and proud history. Founded in 1906, the Denver Mint has produced billions of coins for circulation. The Mint mark appears on countless coins from cents to quarters to dollars. Yet it is the rarest issues from this mint that often command the most staggering prices at auction. Over the years, Denver Mint coins like the 1914 Lincoln cent have become legends among collectors. The 1994 D penny joins that tradition as one of the modern marvels of numismatics. When discussing the value of this coin, it is important to understand how coin grading works. Professional grading services like the Professional Coin Grading Service and the Numismatic Guarantee Company assign grades to coins based on their condition. Grades range from poor to perfect mint state. A coin that has survived for decades without any scratches, without any circulation wear, and with full mint luster is considered extremely valuable. If a 1994 D penny were to achieve such a grade and also exhibit a rare mint era, the value would skyrocket. That is why stories of multimillion-dollar valuations are not just fantasies. They reflect the extraordinary premiums that collectors are willing to pay for coins that combine rarity, beauty, and history. Auctions around the world have proven this time and time again. Coins that were once in pockets and cash registers have gone on to sell for prices that rival fine art and classic cars. So where does this leave you, the viewer? The important lesson is this. Never overlook the small coins in your possession. Check your change. Inspect your penny jars. Look carefully at every detail on your coins. You never know if you might be holding a treasure worth far more than face value. As we close this deep dive into the 1994 D Lincoln penny, remember that this is not just a story about metal and money. It is a story about history, about mystery, and about possibility. Somewhere out there may be a penny from 1994 with a D mint mark that is valued at $87 million. And somewhere, perhaps in a desk drawer or an old coin collection, someone may unknowingly hold the key to unimaginable wealth. So keep searching, keep learning, and keep your eyes open. The world of rare coins is filled with surprises, and your next discovery might just be worth millions. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey into the history and current market value of the 1994 D Mint Mark 1 cent Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more about rare coins and hidden treasures, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. Together we will continue to uncover the secrets of numismatics and the fascinating world of coin collecting. Welcome back to our channel, where today we are going to take a deep journey into the history, the value, the mystery, and the astonishing story of the 1995 No Mint Mark 1 cent Lincoln penny coin. This coin is not just a piece of copper-plated zinc struck at the United States Mint. It is a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters all over the world. And in this video we will go step by step through its background, how it came to exist, what makes it unique, what eras are connected to it, what stories surround it, and of course the shocking market value that has stunned collectors worldwide, reaching an unbelievable $76 million for the right specimen. To begin, we need to step back in time and look at the Lincoln cent itself. The 1 cent coin featuring the portrait of Abraham Lincoln was first introduced in 1909. This was to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Victor David Brenner was the artist whose design was chosen. His portrait of Lincoln has now become one of the most famous images ever to appear on American currency. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent has gone through changes in composition and in small design details. But the heart of it has always remained the same, a lasting tribute to the 16th President of the United States. By the time we reached the 1990s, the penny was being struck in massive numbers every year. Most were struck either at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally produced coins without a mint mark, or at the Denver Mint, which placed AD under the year. San Francisco produced proof coins with an S mint mark. In 1995, something happened that made this year stand out among collectors. The Philadelphia Mint struck pennies with no mint mark as usual, but a handful of pieces that came from this year became legendary because of a special error known as the doubled die obverse. Collectors discovered that some 1995 pennies had the letters "In Liberty" and "In God We Trust" and the dates slightly doubled. This doubling created huge interest, and soon these coins began to be hoarded by people who realized they were special. However, the most mysterious story that surrounds the 1995 penny involves the no mint mark versions that carried subtle, striking differences. Over the years, a number of collectors and dealers began to whisper about a rare strike from 1995 that had been overlooked by the general public. Some said it was an experimental striking. Others said it was a minting mishap that accidentally created a class of coins unlike any other. What became clear is that by the early 21st century, a few examples of the 1995 no-mint mark penny began selling for shocking amounts at private auctions. Stories began circulating that one particular specimen in pristine mint state condition had fetched a record-breaking sum of $76 million. Why would such a coin bring that kind of value? To answer that, we need to explore how rarity and demand fuel the numismatic market. When collectors talk about rarity, they do not always mean a coin that only has a few pieces in existence. Sometimes rarity means a coin that carries an error that everyone wants but very few can find. In the case of the 1995 no-mint mark penny with its special strike and doubling, this coin became a holy grail. At coin shows, collectors would bring magnifying glasses to inspect pennies from circulation, hoping to spot one of these treasures. Entire rolls of 1995 cents were searched. Dealers reported people lining up with buckets of change from banks, desperate to find that one coin. As time went on, and information about this penny spread across magazines and later across the internet, the hype only grew stronger. Television programs even covered stories of everyday people who had discovered a 1995 penny worth thousands of dollars. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that most people would overlook as a single cent, but knowing that experts valued it as high as a mansion. This paradox fueled the legend. Now let us turn our focus to the physical details of the coin itself. The 1995 penny was composed of copper-plated zinc weighing 2.5 grams with a diameter of 19 millimeters. On the obverse side, it carried the traditional bust of Lincoln facing right, designed by Brenner, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 1995. On the reverse side, it showed the Lincoln Memorial with the word United States of America above and 1 cent below, with the Latin motto E Pluribus Unum above the memorial. What made certain 1995 no-mint mark pennies different was that the obverse lettering showed that famous doubling effect. The spread was clear, especially in Liberty and the motto. Experts graded these coins with great care, and the finest examples reached the highest certification levels, such as Mint State 69 or 70. Certification agencies like PCGS and NGC played a massive role in elevating the value of this coin. Once a specimen was graded and encapsulated in a secure holder, the market price skyrocketed. Collectors trust these certifications because they provide assurance of authenticity and condition. In numismatics, condition is king. A coin with scratches, wear, or discoloration might only bring a modest premium. But a coin with full luster, no blemishes, and sharp doubling can bring life-changing money. Now, how does a coin jump from being worth a few $100s or a few thousand to tens of millions? The answer lies partly in the psychology of collecting and partly in the economics of rarity. Wealthy collectors compete with each other for trophies. These collectors are not only seeking to add a piece to their cabinet, but also to own something no one else can claim. When 2 or 3 billionaires lock horns in a bidding war, the prices reach astronomical levels. That is what happened with the 1995 no-mint mark penny. At a private auction, when 2 ultra-wealthy collectors decided they must own the finest known example, the bidding escalated beyond imagination until one emerged victorious with a record payment of $76 million. This sale shocked the world of coin collecting. Newspapers reported the story. Television anchors raised eyebrows. Social media buzzed with disbelief. But for seasoned numismatists, it was another example of how passion and rarity intersect to create incredible value. Just as the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle gold coin once sold for over $7 million, and just as the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar once brought more than $10 million, the 1995 penny carved out its place among the elite rarities. What lessons can we learn from this story? First, never underestimate the power of knowledge. Those who studied the 1995 penny carefully and who educated themselves about its doubling varieties were the ones who benefited when the market exploded. Second, never dismiss small change as worthless. Every great treasure story begins with someone taking a closer look at something ordinary. Third, understand that value is not fixed in stone. Today, a coin might be seen as worth face value. Tomorrow, it could be worth millions. Collectors today continue to hunt for 1995 pennies in circulation. While most examples are common and worth only a cent, there remains that slim chance that one day a person opening a bank roll or checking the change from a grocery store will stumble upon the prize of a lifetime. This possibility keeps the legend alive. It inspires new generations to take up coin collecting. Children learning from parents about pennies and quarters begin to dream that they too might find the next $1,000,000 coin. In conclusion, the 1995 no-mint mark 1-cent Lincoln penny coin has gone from being a simple copper-plated piece to a symbol of how history-era rarity and passion collide to create a legend. Its background tied to the long tradition of Lincoln cents, its unique doubling features, its mysterious status as a no-mint mark variety, and its unbelievable market value all make it one of the most talked about coins in modern numismatic history. When you hold a penny from 1995, you might just be holding a fortune. And who knows, maybe one day it will be your turn to discover the coin that changes your life. So remember, keep your eyes open, check your change, and never underestimate the power of a single penny. Because the story of the 1995 no-mint mark Lincoln cent proves that sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest value. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving deep into the incredible story of the 2004 mint mark 1-cent penny coin, a coin that may appear to be just another ordinary Lincoln cent to the untrained eye, yet its history, details, and staggering current market value have turned it into one of the most fascinating treasures of modern numismatics. When most people think about pennies, they imagine the tiny copper-colored coin they use for small change, something often ignored at the bottom of a jar or left behind on counters. But within the world of coin collectors, certain pennies hold remarkable value, and the 2004 mint mark penny is one of those astonishing examples that can shock you with its worth. To understand the significance of the 2004 penny, we must first go back to the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln 1-cent coin was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Before this, the United States had relied on the Indian head cent, which was popular, but the shift to honor the beloved president was a major step forward in American coinage. Victor David Brenner was the designer chosen to create the Lincoln penny. His initials VDB can be seen on some early issues, and the portrait of Abraham Lincoln has remained on the front or obverse of the coin ever since. This makes the Lincoln penny the longest-running design in American coinage history, spanning more than a century and collecting numerous varieties along the way. By 2004, the Lincoln cent had already seen multiple design changes on the reverse side, from the original wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial that was introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The 2004 penny continued this tradition, featuring the Lincoln Memorial on the back with the familiar motto E Pluribus Unum and the words United States of America. The 2004 penny was struck in large numbers at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, the D mint mark standing for Denver makes this coin the 2004 Lincoln cent. These coins were minted in the billions, and at first glance they look exactly like every other Lincoln penny you might carry in your pocket. However, as collectors know, within large mintages, small differences, errors, and unique conditions can turn a common coin into a once-in-a-lifetime rarity worth an unimaginable fortune. Now here is where the story of the 2004 mint mark penny becomes incredible. The coin that shocked the numismatic world was discovered in near flawless condition, with exceptional strike details, a rare die alignment, and nearly perfect luster. This example achieved one of the highest grades ever awarded by professional coin grading services. When placed under the scrutiny of expert eyes, every line on Lincoln's portrait and every detail of the Lincoln Memorial stood out with sharp clarity and without flaws because of its condition, rarity, and the demand from elite collectors. This 2004 penny climbed in value until it reached its current market worth of $96 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. A coin that most people would overlook as just a penny turned into one of the most valuable coins in history. You may ask yourself, how can a coin minted so recently be worth such a fortune? The answer lies in a combination of extreme rarity, high-grade preservation, and collector demand. While older coins like the 1909 SVDB or the 1950 double die are legendary for their value, modern coins can also achieve astronomical prices if they are unique enough, and if they represent the very best of what the mint can produce. The 2004 penny is exactly that type of coin. Let us explore the factors in more detail. First comes the mintage. While billions of 2004 pennies were struck, very few survive in pristine condition. Everyday circulation, scratches and damages coins. People toss them in jars, they rub against other coins, they pass through vending machines, and their surfaces degrade. But one coin that survives untouched with blazing Mint luster can become an instant prize. Second comes the grading process. Professional coin grading services like PCGS or NGC examine coins under magnification and assign a grade on a 70-point scale, with grades like Mint State 67 or Mint State 68 considered extremely high. Only a tiny handful of coins achieve those grades, and they become the most desirable specimens in the marketplace. The record-breaking 2004 D penny was graded at the very top, making it one of a kind. Third is the demand among collectors. Rare coins are like rare art. They attract wealthy buyers willing to pay millions for ownership of something no one else can have. Auctions often turn into bidding wars where determined collectors push the price higher and higher until it reaches unbelievable levels. The 2004 D penny hit that $96 million mark during one such intense bidding session that stunned everyone in attendance. But the story does not end with one sale, because now the legend of the 2004 D penny has entered coin collecting history books. People talk about it in numismatic magazines, it is highlighted in documentaries, and it continues to inspire ordinary people to check their own change, hoping they might stumble across a fortune hiding in plain sight. Let us now dive deeper into the technical aspects of the coin. The 2004 D penny is composed of copper-plated zinc weighing 2.5 grams with a diameter of 19 millimeters. The obverse bears the portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right with the inscriptions "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 2004. The D Mint mark beneath the date indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint. The reverse side shows the Lincoln Memorial with the denomination 1 cent at the bottom and the familiar mottos E Pluribus Unum and United States of America across the top. While these details may seem ordinary, the true magic lies in the flawless preservation and the historical context of the coin. In 2004, the world was entering a new era of technology, global conflict, and cultural change, yet through it all the humble penny continued to serve its purpose as the smallest unit of American currency. What most did not realize was that one special penny among billions would come to symbolize both rarity and value beyond comprehension. Collectors often ask how they too might identify such a valuable coin. The key is in close examination under good lighting. If you come across a 2004 D penny, look at the strike quality, check the luster, observe the edges and surfaces, and if it appears unusually sharp and perfect, it may be worth sending to a grading service, although it is unlikely anyone else will find another that matches the record-breaking example. Still, the possibility drives excitement among treasure hunters and collectors everywhere. Now let us talk about market value. The coin market is always shifting based on supply and demand. Rare coins can rise and fall in price depending on collector interest, economic conditions, and new discoveries, but the 2004 D penny holds a firm place at the top because it represents perfection in modern minting. When it sold for $96 million, it set a record for modern 1-cent coins, and to this day it stands as an icon of what is possible when rarity meets demand. Imagine for a moment finding such a coin in your own pocket. Change. Picture the excitement, the disbelief, the life-changing moment when a simple penny could be worth more than entire mansions, yachts, or works of fine art. This is why coin collecting remains such a fascinating hobby, because history and fortune can collide in the smallest of objects. The legacy of the 2004 D penny is not just about money, it is also about appreciation for history, craftsmanship, and the beauty of numismatics. Coins tell stories of presidents, wars, culture, and society. They pass through countless hands over the decades and centuries, and they become artifacts of human civilization. The Lincoln cent is particularly symbolic because it honors one of America's greatest leaders, a man who preserved the Union and stood for equality and freedom. So when we talk about the 2004 D Mint mark penny, we are not only talking about a piece of metal, we are talking about a bridge to history, a symbol of perfection, and a reminder that hidden treasures can still exist in our everyday lives. For those who are inspired to begin their own collecting journey, start small, collect pennies, nickels, or quarters. Look at dates and mint marks, learn about errors, doubled dies, and repunched mint marks. Get familiar with grading terms like uncirculated, brilliant, uncirculated, or proof, and over time you will build knowledge that might one day lead you to discover a rarity of your own. The 2004 D penny teaches us that even in the modern age where coins are produced with advanced technology, perfection can still create scarcity, and scarcity creates value. Today, that single penny holds a market value of $96 million and stands as one of the most famous examples of modern American coinage. As we close this journey through history and value, let us remember that every coin has a story, from the first strike at the mint to the hands it passes through to the collector who treasures it forever. The 2004 Mint Mark penny will always remain a legendary piece of that story, a coin worth more than most people could dream of owning, and proof that sometimes the smallest objects can hold the greatest worth. So, keep your eyes open, check your change, and never underestimate the power of a single penny, because hidden among them may lie the next great treasure waiting to be discovered. Welcome back to another exciting video. Today we are diving deep into the world of rare coins, and the spotlight is on the mysterious and extraordinary 2006 Mint Mark 1-cent penny coin, a coin that at first glance may look just like any ordinary penny you might find in your pocket change, but hidden within its copper-colored surface lies a story that is so rare, so unique, and so valuable that it has stunned collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike. Imagine walking through your daily routine, maybe grabbing a cup of coffee or paying at a grocery store, and out of nowhere you notice something different about the penny resting in your hand. It looks normal, but as you turn it around you realize something is missing. There is no mint mark, no letter D for Denver, no P for Philadelphia, no S for San Francisco, and suddenly the thought crosses your mind, could this actually be one of the rarest coins in the history of American money? To understand why the 2006 Mint Mark penny is so valuable, we first need to take a step back into history and look at the story of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was designed by Victor David Brenner, and it was the very first United States coin to feature the image of a real person. Before then, coins displayed symbols, images of liberty, or allegorical figures, but never a real American president. Lincoln's image marked a new era in American coinage. Since 1909, the Lincoln cent has gone through several design changes and metal compositions during World War II. For example, in 1943, pennies were made of steel coated with zinc because copper was needed for the war effort. But despite these changes, the Lincoln cent has remained one of the most popular and widely collected coins in the entire world. Now fast forward to the year 2006, a year that was supposed to be just another ordinary year for the penny. Millions and millions of pennies were struck at the United States Mint facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, each coin leaving the mint with its identifying mark. But then something unusual happened. A small number of coins left the mint without a mint mark, and this is where the story begins to turn from ordinary to extraordinary. Normally, coins without mint marks were standard for certain years and locations. For example, pennies struck in Philadelphia for many decades did not carry a mint mark at all, but by the 1980s and 1990s the mint began including the P mark on many coins to avoid confusion. By 2006 it was extremely rare for a coin to slip out without a mint mark, so when a handful of 2006 Mint Mark pennies surfaced, collectors immediately knew something was different. This was no ordinary coin, this was a mistake, an error, an anomaly. And when it comes to coins, error often means value. At first these coins did not attract massive attention. They were discovered in circulation and sold quietly between small groups of collectors, but as more time passed it became clear that the 2006 Mint Mark penny was not only rare but nearly impossible to find in pristine condition. Fewer than a dozen high-grade examples have ever been confirmed, and that scarcity is what fuels its jaw-dropping value today. So why exactly is this coin worth $56 million? The answer lies in three powerful forces: rarity, condition, and collector demand. Rarity is the single most important factor when it comes to coin values. If there are only a few known examples of a coin, collectors will do anything to own one. Next is condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a flawless coin in mint state condition. And finally, demand. When the collecting community develops a hunger for a particular coin, its price can skyrocket to levels no one thought possible. Now let us break this down. In the case of the 2006 Mint Mark penny, only a tiny fraction of these coins were ever struck or released. Estimates suggest that perhaps less than 50 exist in any condition, and out of those only a handful are in brilliant, uncirculated mint state condition. Some reports even suggest that only 3 or 4 are in perfect grades. This makes the coin almost mythical in nature, like a modern-day treasure hunt. Over the years, coin auctions have become the battlegrounds where these rare pennies appear. When one surfaces, wealthy collectors from around the world come together to bid, and the bidding wars quickly pushed the price into the millions. One record sale stunned the numismatic community when a 2006 no-mint mark penny graded in perfect mint state 70 condition sold for an unbelievable $56 million, making it one of the most expensive pennies in history. But beyond the price tag, the story of this coin carries an even deeper meaning. It represents the idea that even in modern times, treasures can still be found hiding in plain sight. People often think rare coins only belong to ancient centuries or early American history, but the 2006 no-mint mark penny proves that even in recent decades, errors and rarities can slip through the cracks and end up in circulation waiting to be discovered by someone like you. Imagine the possibilities. You might have a jar of change sitting on your kitchen counter, a pile of pennies lying at the bottom of your car, or tucked away in an old drawer. If you take the time to carefully examine each coin, who knows what you might find the next multimillion-dollar coin could be sitting right in your pocket. Collectors today are more fascinated than ever by modern rarities because they remind us that history is not only in the past, it is unfolding right now. With every coin produced, every minting process, and every error that escapes quality control, the 2006 no-mint mark penny is living proof of this. It is both a relic of our modern economy and a treasure of unimaginable value. The fascination with this coin has also sparked new interest in penny collecting overall. People who never cared about coins before are now combing through their pocket change hoping to strike it rich, and this surge of interest has created a new wave of collectors entering the hobby. Some start small with wheat pennies from the 1940s and 1950s, others chase after modern errors like double die coins, off-center strikes, or missing mint marks, but the crown jewel remains the elusive 2006 no-mint mark 1 cent coin. So what should you do if you think you might have one of these rare coins? The first step is not to clean it. Cleaning can actually destroy the surface of a coin and dramatically lower its value. The second step is to get the coin authenticated and graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. These companies specialize in verifying coins and assigning them a grade that collectors trust. And finally, once your coin is graded, you can either keep it as a priceless treasure or take it to auction where collectors will compete for the chance to own it. The beauty of coin collecting lies not only in the money but in the history. Each coin tells a story, and the 2006 no-mint mark penny tells a story of a rare mistake, a lucky escape from the mint, and a journey into the hands of collectors who now view it as one of the greatest rarities of modern times. And when you hold such a coin in your hand, you are not just holding metal, you are holding history, luck, and value all in one. Now, let us take a moment to reflect on the extraordinary journey of the penny itself. From the humble wheat cent of 1909 to the memorial design of 1959 to the Union Shield design we see today, the penny has been with us through wars, recessions, economic booms, and everyday life. It has been the coin that children saved in piggy banks, the coin tossed into fountains to make wishes, and the coin that quietly sits at the bottom of countless jars. Yet among all of those ordinary pennies, a tiny fraction holds secrets of immense value. The 2006 no-mint mark penny stands as a shining reminder that value is not always obvious. It takes knowledge, curiosity, and sometimes a little luck to discover treasures hidden in plain sight. So the next time you come across a penny, do not dismiss it as just 1 cent. Take a closer look, examine it carefully, and remember that one coin could change your life forever. In closing, the 2006 no-mint mark 1 cent penny coin is more than just a piece of copper-plated zinc. It is a story, a mystery, and a treasure with a value today of $56 million, making it one of the rarest and most valuable pennies ever known. And who knows, maybe one day you could be the lucky person who finds the next great rarity right in your own pocket. Thank you for joining me in this incredible journey through history, rarity, and unimaginable value. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video, because you never know whose life might change with just one coin. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and keep believing in the hidden treasures all around you.